Are you looking for quick, simple ideas for your 6x8 patterned paper or ideas for how to have inexpensive embellishments? Hi, I'm Jess from jesscrafts.com and I'm here to help you make the most of your crafty supplies and time. So let's get making. Today I'm going to be working with a 6x8 paper busting template. At the time that I am making the video and at the time of the release, this particular paper pad from scrapbook.com, the boho pattern collection, is one of their free gifts with purchase, but it's a limited time thing. It's just until they sell out. And so I don't know if it will be available when you're watching it, but it's an older collection. I thought some of you probably have it in your stash or might be picking it up part of an order. And so I would give you another idea with this collection. And one of the papers in it worked really well with an idea that I had been thinking about. So I have 6x8 paper busting template number 30, and I'm going to show you how to use this template today. It has been available in the Etsy shop, but I have never done a video with it, and so I want to kind of just walk you through it in case there are any questions about it. And then finally, I want to talk about how to find inexpensive embellishments. So let's first get started with how to cut the patterned paper. There's a couple of things to consider about this sketch. Most times when I see 6x8 pattern paper, the directionality is at the top. So like this would be the top of the pattern paper if it had directionality. This particular paper does not. It is the green dot pattern paper, and it's just larger and smaller dots on each side. But if you did have paper with directionality, the top section here does not work with directional pattern paper, so I would suggest a pattern paper that isn't directional, like on one side at least, or isn't directional at all for this particular sketch. So we're going to start by cutting this at half to 6 by 4 inches, which will leave us with two pieces that are 6 by 4 inches. And then the cut for the bottom, really simple, just cutting it to 3 by 4. And so this works well if you have a patterned paper that has like those 3 by 4 cut aparts. Then this top piece we're going to cut on the diagonal. I do give you a suggestion about where to cut it on the diagonal, but it doesn't actually matter all that much. However, if you just made a random diagonal cut, we could make it work for the sketch. But I do give you a suggestion, and that is to cut it on the diagonal at 2 5/8. So you could take a ruler, measure to 2 5/8, make a line, measure to 2 5/8 on the other side. So like measure to 2 5/8, 2 5/8, and then cut the line between them. And that's what I'm recommending in the sketch. But just to show you, you could pick any diagonal that looks about halfway through and make the cut. And so that's what I'm going to do today. And as you can see, they're not perfectly even, but that will be fine. And I'll show you how I will still make the mats for it. I'm using some craft cardstock today. I'm going to make a card that some might consider more of a masculine card. I'm using some more subdued colors, but of course, I don't subscribe to the idea that like only men like this or that thing. So, but I do think these papers would work well for, say, Father's Day cards or this design. Okay, so I cut my mats for my two pieces that are 3 by 4 by measuring a piece of cardstock that was 8.5 long to 3 1/4, and then 3 1/4. I cut it at the 4 1/4 mark, which cut into 2 perfect rectangles that I need for this. So I've done that many times with this particular measurement. 3 by 4s are pretty popular. And the next thing that I recommend in the sketch is to cut a piece of cardstock mat to 4 1/4 by 6 1/2. And this is how we're going to make the cardstock mats. We are going to piece this back together on the cardstock mat, but leave a gap in between, and we are going to cut along that gap to create the cardstock mats that we will need for this particular design. So I placed my two pieces down. You can see it would look like that, and then just kind of used the side of my trimmer to estimate like where I thought was about the middle between them. And they don't wind up absolutely perfect, but I think that that looks great and it's an easy way to make the mats. And then I think that because I flipped it to the other side of the patterned paper than what I started with, or maybe because of the way I cut the diagonal, my point is actually going to be on the left side, but you could make sure that it worked differently if you really wanted the point to be on the right side or something. But I did want to call that out, that I understand that is a difference between what the sketch looks like. And so then I'm going to use the smaller dots for my focal point images here. But if you do have anything like a sentiment or something that you want to use on the final card, you could cut it out of the background here because you're going to cover it up. So this is a good opportunity if you need like a circle or any kind of like shape, sentiment die, etc. Cut it out of those pieces first. So I decided to go into my stash and see if there was a die set that just I hadn't used very much but could be a good simple shape for this card. And I chose these nested arches from scrapbook.com, and I cut that out of the center of the mat before I adhered the patterned paper on top. So that's where that shape came from, and there was no additional card stock needed for it. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about like inexpensive embellishment ideas. So of course, for me, it seems clear that the least expensive thing is something you already have. So if you have stamp sets and markers, and of course just using them more would be great. However, I did want to present another option that I think would appeal to some people, and that I noticed that there are some of these on the market, and particularly Mintay paper has a lot of them available. And these are these 12 by 12 element sheets, and they average about this price of a piece of paper. So I think I was seeing them on the website for $1.50, $2. Prices are subject to change, of course. And so you get quite a few embellishments. Now you do have to fussy cut them out. But I thought, especially for an occasion where you're like, I don't need to make a whole bunch of this kind of card, so maybe it's not worth purchasing a stamp set, for instance. A stamp set is probably going to be, even a small stamp set is probably like $5. So I could see why these would be a good fit. And I was also thinking there's a lot of like sticker sets out there. But again, when I was kind of looking, seeing a 12 by 12 sticker sheet was about $4. So this could be an inexpensive option. In some ways, I think they're a little bit more versatile than stickers, but again, you have to be okay with fussy cutting them. But they had a number of occasions with Mintay papers. It seems like they make them for most of their collections. So I thought I'd point that out. But also getting like printable card embellishments. I sell some if they're my Etsy shop, where you can just print them and put them on cards, and they actually have the sentiment all in one and that kind of stuff. So those can be inexpensive options when you need just a handful of something for a particular kind of occasion. I think these cards could be great for Father's Day, but I'm actually going to make them birthday cards today because I'll probably share a separate video in the future specifically about a Father's Day idea. So I had this stamp from a scrapbook.com set that just says happy birthday, but it was all one stamp, and I wanted to stack them on top of each other, so I just cut it between the happy and birthday. That's always up to you. It's something you can do. You'll be able to fit them back together. I've cut many stamps and I've never had a problem with it, but of course, you make a good decision about your own supplies. And I'm going to add this happy birthday. It is stained with red ink, but that also does not affect its future stamping. And I'll stamp it with some Lawn Fawn Walnut ink. And then I'm going to take one of those pieces that I cut apart from that sheet of 12 by 12 pattern paper and add that as an embellishment. But I actually want to make sure that I'm going to get a really nice impression. So I'm going to use the back side of that to test out my stamp, since you're never going to see that on the final card. But I think that this will give a good impression. I actually find that I'm tending to like to stamp with just my stamp blocks rather than using something like a MISTI tool, that like a stamp positioner. I know it's not perfect for everything, but for simple things like this, I think that not only is it faster, but I'm getting really good results anyway. I do think about just holding the stamp to the paper for a little bit longer because I can't re-stamp it. So I try to make sure that I've given it a sufficient amount of time to sink into the paper a little bit. But I've been getting really great impressions with just stamp blocks. And so then I'll attach my embellishment and repeat the same thing with another embellishment on a second card. If you found this video helpful, here's another video where you can find more ideas for enjoying your crafty time and supplies. Let me know you like this video with the share to your crafty community, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next template or tutorial, and check the video description for product links. See you in the next video.